What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Sleeper. Today, it became obvious how important Deni Avdija is to this basketball team as the Blazers get destroyed in Golden State in San Francisco by a final score of 119-97. This was a game that the Blazers couldn't get going offensively at all. It was a very, very ugly game. They did have a good run at the start of the third quarter to cut the lead to 12. It was at one point 26 before that. And then Drew Holiday passes up a wide open layup for a Toumani Camara three. He misses. The Warriors go on a 7-0 run and never look back. And I'll just say this, man. This was my least favorite game of the year because I'm not worried about Deni's injury per se, but I'm worried about how this team looks without him because this team looked abysmal tonight. They never led, and the energy was flat. The defense was awful. Golden State goes off from three against this team, hitting 23 threes. 23 threes from the Golden State Warriors against your Portland Trail Blazers in what was a pretty miserable game. Eric, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Okay, that was a pretty painful watch there.
Yeah. Was that your least favorite game of the year? Because that was mine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one that would compare to that. I mean, we did get blown out by the Rockets earlier this season. And of course, like, there's some games like the game we had a chance to beat the Spurs for the group stage win in the NBA Cup and kind of no-showed in that game too. But yeah, just in terms of being a very boring watch, this game has to rank right up there.
Yeah. That was brutal, you know, and I'm not one to make injury excuses or just use injuries as the reason for things. But that's when I don't think they're the reason for things. When I do think they're the reason for things, I'll explain it. That's what this stream is going to be, because without Deni Avdija, this offense is completely hopeless. This offense already has some major flaws with Deni Avdija, but Deni Avdija is the offensive engine this offense sorely needs. Without him, there's nobody you can trust to create for themselves and others on this basketball team. There's nobody you can trust to regularly break down defenses and make good plays. And it's funny how, you know, Deni's had some turnover struggles this year, and I've always kind of given him a little bit of a pass because of how much he drives, how much he draws attention, and how much that sparks good offense, whether it's good shots for other players or getting the defense stuck in rotation and then kicking out, swing, and then there's a drive. Deni Avdija creates a ton of good offense, even if it doesn't register in the box score. But I think it's funny how he's a guy that kind of struggles with turnovers. The first game without him, of course, the graphic, even though I updated it before the stream, wants to glitch out on me. I have to show you this turnover number, and before I put it up on screen, maybe it's good that this is the wrong graphic. I'm going to give you a warning because this is going to be very ugly. This is going to be graphic, no pun intended, because the stats from this game are abysmal. 22 turnovers for the Portland Trail Blazers. We talked about how they had started to clean those up. Well, first game without Deni Avdija, and they were sloppy as hell. They had more turnovers than assists. That's a lot of dead air. I thought Eric was going to say something. These turnovers have him speechless.
Tweeting and stuff, sorry.
All good. 22 turnovers for the Portland Trail Blazers. On 19 assists, really, really ugly. They shoot 30% from three, 43% from the field, 65% from the free throw line, so they had been doing that better lately. That didn't matter. They didn't send Golden State to the line, but that's because Golden State was taking threes all game long. 57 of their 89 shots for the Golden State Warriors were from three. They make 40% of them, 23 threes made on the night. But I just keep looking at that turnover number and the 3-point made number for Golden State as the two biggest reasons why this game quickly got out of hand. But there's just not enough shot creation. And I'll just say this, like, the Deni injury has the unfortunate effect of basically bumping everybody up in terms of what they have to try and do offensively, and it was really
Well, they
ugly.
already were bumped up, but this bumps them up even more. Like,
See, but like, okay, so like Caleb Love gets bumped up, but off Denny Avdija, he can be like a spot up shooter, attack, closeouts guy. Without Denny Avdija, he has to be more of a shot creator, driving against the set defense, and the results of that were really ugly from Caleb Love tonight. Same thing for Shaedon Sharpe. Not necessarily the results. He had 19 points. He was okay tonight, but he didn't really create for others. You know, he got his own a little bit, but the one thing with Denny is he makes things easier for other guys. Now without him, it's not easy on anybody. So Sharpe being bumped up to the number one option offensively, he's a guy that can score, but he's not really a facilitator. We've talked about it so far this season, and he has 2 assists in this game. And there's really no moments in this game where I felt like he was doing a good job of collapsing defenses, kicking it out, getting good shots for his teammates, or making it easier, which that's not really his game. That's not really his game. But unfortunately, without Denny Avdija, somebody needs to do that, but you don't really have anybody that's capable. The most capable guy is Jrue Holiday coming off the bench, but he is still under minutes restriction and still knocking off the rust. He was pretty brutal tonight, but I don't expect him to be playing as well as I would expect if he's healthy right now when he's coming back off an injury. The problem with the Denny injury is now you're asking too much of Jrue Holiday, you're asking too much of Shaedon Sharpe, you're asking too much of Caleb Love, you're asking too much of Sidy Cissoko, where those guys function better playing off of an offensive engine like Denny. Without that guy, these guys are overtasked, and there's just nobody you can consistently rely on to create their own offense and make things easier for others at all whatsoever. And that's a big reason why you take Denny out of the equation, who had struggled with turnovers, but the Blazers have been keeping those low lately, and now you take him out of the equation, and then boom, 22 turnovers.
yeah, I would like to see the potential assist numbers for Sharpe in this game, because I do feel like at one point he was kicking out to shooters, and man, they could not do anything. Primarily, Tamani and Sidy were absolutely terrible in this game. Just to get a no-show from 2 of your starters in a game where we absolutely...
Eric got collab cammed. He said no show, and then he stopped showing up. If that's not ironic, I don't know what is. You got collab cammed when you said no show, so don't say that again, because it made it so you don't show up.
Yeah,
collab cam
right.
listened, so
but man, Tamani was freaking terrible in this game. Sidy Cissoko was even worse. And like right now in this game, that's like your 3rd and 4th best player, right? So just it's tough, man. It's really tough when you don't get anything from 2 of your starters. And then Caleb Love was he started off, I think he made his first shot, or maybe his first 2 shots or something, and then went on like a brutal shooting stretch after that. Klingan had trouble corralling some rebounds, or got it stripped a bunch of times. He had a couple of nice aggressive takes, but other than that, he wasn't much of a factor tonight either. Couldn't stop anyone around the basket. Was getting scored on left and right. So when you have this kind of lineup, and then basically 4 of your starters don't show up for the game, it's really hard to do anything. And then on top of that, Tori, I tweeted this out. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not trying to hate. I don't want these situations to hate on, but this coaching staff should be absolutely killed for the way they handled Jrue Holiday in this game. To start him the second half is fine, but he did not come out till 1:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. They played this guy 11 straight minutes, coming off a calf strain on a minutes restriction. What the heck are they doing, Tori? In a game we're down by double digits the whole game. What the heck was that?
Yeah, I don't get that either. I mean, there's certain coaching staffs that they'll get down 20 or 25 And they'll be like, okay, you know what? It's very unlikely we win this game. It's a regular season game. Like, let's not coach out of desperation. And then there's other coaching staffs that are like down 20, 25. We got to pull out all the stops. Calf sprain, minutes restriction. Screw that. He's 35 years old. Screw that. 11 straight minutes to start the third. And the funny thing is he made the play that completely killed their momentum during that stretch as well. I understand keeping him in while you have the momentum, but that momentum went away. They went on a 7-0 run. He shouldn't have been in after that. Because when was that 7-0 run?
It was with I think it was 5 or 6 minutes into the quarter because they took Sharpe out right after that 7-0 run. For some reason, and then Sharpe doesn't come in the rest of the quarter until the fourth quarter, and then he plays like 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. So our only good player today pretty much barely played in the second half. I think he played 11 minutes in the second half. And meanwhile, you're playing someone coming off a calf strain 11 straight minutes. Like earth to the team. No wonder you have 7 guys hurt right now, because of dumbass stuff like this, right? It's idiotic, Tori.
Or he's just been healthy for a long time, and they're finally like, okay, let's play him. He's 100%, but we're gonna make it look like he has to come back with a minutes restriction.
But in the first half, he didn't come. He came in a little earlier than last game, but it was still later than you would think he would come in. Or why wouldn't they start him instead of Caleb Love? In this game
why would they do a number of the things that they do with the way they handle injuries? At this point, it's just so ridiculous, but it's so repetitive. Nothing explains a number of different things with this organization, the way they handle injuries and the way they handle recovery and the way they handle disclosing this information to their fan base. And that's just another one that you can put on the board. All right, second game back from a calf sprain. He's on a minutes restriction. He's 35 years old, and he plays 11 straight minutes to start the second half in a game that you never led and really didn't. You were never in. Golden State kind of let up there a little bit, and Portland got hot from 3 to start the second half for 6 minutes. We're able to cut it to 12, and then Golden State's okay, 7-0 run. Nothing. This team was not going to win this game, and it became obvious in the first quarter this team was not going to win this game.
I don't think they win this game, Tori, but if Drew Holiday just shoots the freaking wide open lay in there and cuts it to 10, they probably have to call their second timeout of the quarter already, just a few minutes in.
Yeah.
And the momentum is completely opposite. Instead, Golden State goes down and hits a 3, of course, and then goes on to steal the ball and hit another 3, and then they go on that 7-0 run and it's over. It's back to no contest. But if he makes that lay-in, Golden State starting to pucker a little bit because we have them kind of okay, they had complete control of this game up 30 or whatever it was, 29. And all of a sudden it's a 10-point game with plenty of time left. I think this game could have gone completely differently. I don't know if we would have won or anything, but this certainly could have been a more competitive game. I have no idea why he didn't shoot that ball. And then, of course, Tamani misses. He missed all but one shot tonight, I think. Or how many shots did Tamani hit? That didn't feel like very many.
Yeah. I will say this about Drew. That was definitely he has no feel yet. It's his second game back type of thing. So, obviously it was a ridiculous play and a ridiculous decision. But for somebody in his situation, I kind of understand it. If that's Ryan Rupert being scared to shoot because he's scared to shoot for his entire career and he passed that up, it's just yep, see, this is why he's not an NBA player. But for Drew Holiday, that obviously is just his feel being off, where he just kind of assumed they're going to rotate to him and didn't even read the play at all. So, some people might view that as making excuses. I just view that as the reality. I think if he's fully healthy and has his rhythm, he just shoots that layup. So, and I'll say this about Tamani, man. Tamani's offense needs to be a bonus in games. You cannot go into games relying on Tamani to score 15 to 20 points. You can't go into games relying on Tamani to shoot the ball well every single game. That's not really his.
I mean, he does average over 13 points a game.
Yeah, he averages over 13 points per game, but he's prone to some really bad nights, is my point. He's prone to some really bad nights. On a good team, I don't think you go into games hoping that Tamani can score you 15 to 20 points. Without Denny Avdija, this team needs Tamani to step up and be like the third best player offensively for them to have a chance. And I think on some nights, maybe he can give you that, but he's just not reliable enough offensively. And that's just the problem with some of the injuries. And that's the problem, especially without missing Denny, is, Denny's the type of guy that will get Tamani wide open looks, will help Tamani find a rhythm. Tamani had some open looks in this game as well, but I do think Tamani plays better off of Denny because he does get a little bit more open from the three-point line. But that aside, at the end of the day, it's never a good situation if you're going into games like, Tamani, please be our second or third best offensive player, just because he's not a creator, he's not a consistent shooter. There's just some games where he's just brutal, and there's some games where he's fine, and his percentage on the season is fine. He's just a little bit up and down. He's your defensive guy, though. So that's the problem, I think, is with all the injuries, you're asking a little bit too much out of basically everybody on this roster. And Denny was the guy holding it together because Denny was the guy creating for this entire roster, helping this roster make shots offensively, helping guys get going, creating space for guys, drawing the defense, kicking out, putting guys in situations where they're shooting catch and shoot threes or able to attack closeouts and creating some flow to this offense. Tonight, this offense was a lot of side to side. There wasn't much dribble penetration. And it's because you don't have the league leader in drives out there.
Yeah, but when they did get kick out opportunities, both City and Tamani didn't make many of them. So
yeah, I mean, how many of those were contested?
I mean, the one that Drew passed out, we had one. I know there was multiple Sharpe pass outs that those guys bricked as well, or in City's case, didn't even hit anything.
Well, I mean, the one where City shot over the backboard, that was heavily contested.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about that one.
Yeah, they missed some open threes, but there's kind of something, I think, to be said. When your offense has no rhythm, even if you get open threes, I feel like you're less likely to make them if it's just if your offense is clunky all night, if there's no rhythm to the offense. And I think without Denny, there was just no rhythm to that offense tonight. And it was a little bit too much isolation, one-on-one, or plays where Drew dribbles to Sharpe on the wing, hands it to him, and gets out of his way, and then he's going one-on-one. This team without Denny doesn't have any very high caliber one-on-one players. It needs to move the ball a little bit better, but every time they tried to move the ball, every time they tried to pass the ball, half the time it was to the other team.
Yeah. Yeah, can't be sloppy with the ball against Golden State. They showed that tonight.
Yeah. Anyway, what'd you think of the zone?
I mean, the zone's terrible against a team like Golden State as well. Just brutal.
Yeah, I don't really understand the let's run a zone against a team that's killing us from three, and let's run a zone when we can't defensive rebound. The thing is, they rebound defensively today. They only give up 4 offensive rebounds, so I guess that's something that's better that had been an area of struggle for this team lately. But when you play a zone, it's harder to rebound, and you give up open threes. This team was cooking us from 3. And especially the 3-2 zone is freaking ridiculous. Having your rim protector, having bigs try and chase guys out to the corner and then getting beat.
Yep. And they're not in position for rebounds, even if they do.
Yeah. You don't want your big trying to contest corner threes. In any sort of scheme, you should never have a big contesting guards on corner threes unless they got switched and like drugged down there. That's the only explanation that's reasonable to me why you have your bigs trying to contest corner threes from guards. But the zone does it by design. And if you're a smart team, you put a shooter down there in the corner, you bring the ball to one side of the floor, you swing it back quickly to the other side, to the corner, and you have the big running out, and that's an easy closeout to attack. If you have Donovan Klingan or Young Hansen or even Robert Williams trying to close out on the corner and run you off the three-point line, that's easy to attack if you don't just already have an open three. So I'm getting frustrated with the usage of the zone. I'm getting frustrated that they use a 3-2 zone, especially because at least a 2-3, you have your big in the paint. You don't have your big trying to chase guys out on the perimeter, out to the corner. So yeah, I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, and it's just I don't understand the point of it, because you would think if we were running that kind of zone, we'd be able to, like, the whole point of a 3-2 is to like eliminate the other team from getting top of the key threes, but you're kind of inviting them to attack the middle and then kick out to the shooters in the corners. And we all know, outside of some of our own shooters, that the corner three is supposed to be the most efficient 3-point shot, or probably the most efficient shot in the entire like game of basketball, right? So to like continue to give those up constantly, and then once again we come out with a game plan to just not guard someone on the other team, and he makes us pay. Draymond Green had like 7 points in a row to start the game, and we just refused to guard him. He's shot the three ball seemingly well against us this year. That strategy has not worked, just like the one against Josh Hart last game that we talked about didn't work. That seems to be and then Klingan's not protecting the rim very well lately either, in terms of when players go at him. So man, I don't understand their gameplay. Like, what are they seeing to continue to do these strategies that are not working? I mean, we do hold Steph Curry down tonight, but he was more than willing to just be a passer and let his other guys play because they were getting wide open shots.
It's almost worse to me that you held Steph Curry down and you still give up 23 threes on 40%
Right?
shooting. And if there was no garbage time, the Warriors were going to score 30 in this game, or 130 in this game.
Yeah.
So you hold Steph in check, but literally everybody else destroys you. D'Anthony Melton has 23 points in 18 minutes. And some of that was, once this game was pretty much decided, but you let everybody crush you. Moses Moody, 4 for 8 from 3. Pajimski, 3 for 5. Will Richard, 2 for 5. Guy Santos, 2 for 3. That dude is like only in there to shoot, and he just walks into a wide open three. Like, the way the Blazers have been guarding the 3-point line is kind of ridiculous. I like the idea of helping off of subpar shooters maybe a little bit more, but I don't like the idea of, he has the ball at the 3-point line, I'm going to give him all the space to just line up a three and drill it, find the seams, all that sort of stuff. There's a difference between those two things. One is you're helping take away a good shot and forcing it to that guy, and then you're trying to close back out on him. The second is just like, go ahead and shoot. You have all the time in the world to shoot this ball, which it's the NBA, man. You can't really do that, even if it's not the greatest shooter. So, and that's how you end up with role players killing you, and then it's like, man, all right, Steph didn't even have to do anything in this game.
Yep. We can't even really talk about fouls because there weren't only 30 free throws between both teams, so that wasn't its normal problem. It was just all about letting them shoot threes. And yeah, I mean, Moody I don't think his percentage on the year is very great, if I recall correctly, but I mean, that's a guy who in the past has shown he could shoot the yeah, like Al Horford comes in off the bench, we leave him wide open in the corner. It just seemed like every time someone came in, they were getting a wide open three. And it did work with like Gary Payton the second shooting them. I think he missed 2 or 3 tonight, but I mean, when you just continue to give uh, practice shots basically to these guys, I mean, the Warriors are way too good of a team to not take advantage of that. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Moody's at 36% this year, says
Yeah.
chat. So yeah, you don't really want to leave him open as well. This whole team can shoot, though. Like, there's not really anybody on this team that
And like
isn't
Post
capable
didn't
of
even
knocking
hurt
down
us
the
either.
three. Yeah, yeah. Post is a shooter. Al Horford can shoot.
Did you
Go ahead.
did you see they started the first like the whole first rotation? Sharpe was guarding Post.
Yeah, I don't.
Did you notice that?
I mean, he's not really a
I know he was
post
looking
up
at
guy,
Henderson.
even though
Yeah.
his name is Post.
I mean, they got
But
away with it because Post didn't
yeah,
do anything in this game, but yeah.
yeah, and then you put Klingan on Draymond, and yeah, that's the thing is normally you don't want Klingan guarding a stretch five, so it's funny that it's Sharp, but I guess that's the guy they felt like they could hide Sharp on,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's not like Post killed him. You just Draymond having 7 points in like the first 3 or 4 minutes is not ideal. Like you give them a hot start because you're completely disrespecting this guy. I know he's not really a scorer, but he can score when you don't guard him, when you let him have all day to shoot the ball from three. So I'm slowly getting worried about the defensive game plans going into games where it's just like, especially against a team that has 5 guys in their starting lineup that can shoot. New York's one of those teams, and Golden State's one of those teams. They don't have any guys that aren't capable of making a three. Yet the last 2 games, the Blazers have gone in and just picked the worst shooter and said, okay, we're just going to let him have all day to try and shoot the ball. And that's killed them twice in a row. So, got to be a little bit better there. For sure. Nothing else really stands out on this graphic. I mean, good job not sending them to the line a lot and not giving up a bunch of offensive rebounds, but
Hey, at least their shooting percentages went down from like 65% in the first quarter.
yeah, it just played no defense. It was soft. Like, do you think this was asked at halftime of the broadcast? Do you think there was an effort issue tonight from Portland?
Um, I don't know if I don't know if effort issue is the right phrasing. I feel like it was more of they had no belief they had a chance of winning this game from the beginning, and they played like that type of thing. I don't know if that's an effort thing. It's just more like they just never really felt like they thought they belonged in this game. So yeah, no faith, says chat. Yeah, that's I feel like it was more that just like they started off and within like the first couple minutes you could tell they had no idea where they were going on offense. Sharp had to just like take a bunch of shots in a row because no one was doing anything. And I just felt like I don't know if it's they didn't believe in the game plan or that Golden State gets up by a few early or what the problem was, but they did not play like they had the intensity of like, oh yeah, we're going to come into Golden State and win this game. They
Yeah.
played more like, oh man, we don't have Denny, we're screwed. What are we going to do? And you can't play scared against a team like Golden State that's that good offensively. So, but I don't know if that's like an effort thing. More just like they just seem kind of dejected and down that they didn't have their guy. And I guess
Yeah.
that leads to a lack of effort, but I don't think it's like, oh, these guys like showed no heart or whatever. It's just I feel like they kind of knew what was coming. They knew the B2A was about to happen, and yeah, I don't.
B2A?
Yeah,
Or is
that's
it
the short for.
BTA?
Well, it's when you do like the cell phone version. It's B2A, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
heard it on the broadcast. I think they said BTA.
yeah. But anyways, yeah. It's I don't know. I don't feel like the Blazers. And it's weird because there's been lots of games like this, even with Denny, where it doesn't seem like many people give them a chance, and that's when they seem to rise above it and play well and show people that no, we're gonna scrap this one out um and and show them what we're made of, and it just didn't feel like they had that same kind of scrappiness tonight outside of maybe a few minutes in the third quarter when they made that run coming out of halftime. But outside of that, like I don't feel like they really showed anything.
Denny's their leader. Like, you can tell he's become their vocal leader, but also their like emotional leader. Um, with how hard he plays, with how much he does offensively. Obviously, he's the leader from like an orchestration of the offense standpoint, but he's also their like emotional leader. He gives this team an edge that it clearly does not have without him. It gives this team some confidence. Like guys play confidently off of him, and I think that's what we saw tonight was no Denny and these guys. I think part of it goes into they're being asked to do a little too much without a guy like Denny. And part of it's just like he's their leader, he's their emotional leader, especially, and gives them confidence. With how, like he plays so confident. He's one of the most confident players I've ever seen wear a Blazer uniform. And you heard his attitude, like I don't care who you are, I'm going at you, like I'm going through you. That's how he plays like too. There's a reason why he drives 3 times more per game than anybody else because that's his attitude. And without that on the floor, man, this team just looked flat. This team looked unconfident, and this team played like crap. It's just that simple to me.
You know what I had a bad feeling about this game, Tori? This is
What is
gonna
that?
sound so stupid, but when they showed the little players saying where they were from,
Yeah.
we did not sound like hyped or confident at all. It was like, especially Donovan Klingan, he's like, University of Kentucky. Like he was all like nervous or something. Like I don't know. Like
Have some fun. NFL players have
yeah,
gotten to do this for forever. Now NBA players get to do it. Have some freaking fun, man.
and I know like a lot of them probably aren't used to this. Like the Blazers don't get a ton of primetime games like this. They probably don't have to do that very often. But it did seem like when you compare that to Golden State's introduction and stuff like that, we did look like we were the generals going up against the Globetrotters. They didn't really seem like very hyped or very confident, even in just the introductions. And so I was like, oh man, that didn't give me very much hype that the Blazers could come out like with some intensity. It was like kind of a downer thing. That's like, yeah, University of Arizona, University of Dayton, Shaedon Sharpe, Kentucky.
The thing is,
You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't even see the intro.
oh, you didn't
So
see
yeah,
it?
I'm gonna have to see it because it sounds funny. But
I don't know if anyone agrees with me in chat, but that's
yeah,
it really felt like they had no energy in this. Like,
yeah,
and Caleb Love was just announced as a starter like an hour before the game or something, so they had to have done those pretty close to game time. And so, like, yes, leading into the game, you're not very very hyped or very confident in even just saying what college you went to or where you're from, like that. Ugh.
I am, yeah, I'm worried about this team without Denny. I'm worried that it's going to be a multiple week absence from Denny. I know a lot of people aren't that worried, but it never it always goes that way. Every single injury, it always goes that way. So I don't think anybody can blame me for being pessimistic regarding Denny's return to play, because every return to play for any player we ever have is always BS. It's always 1 to 2 weeks turning into 8 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks turning into 16 weeks. Like, Jeremy's day to day, and he might play next game now, but last time he played was December 18th, so he missed basically a month. If Denny Avdija misses a prolonged period of time, and by prolonged I mean like 2.5, 3 weeks and beyond, I think there's basically no chance of getting the 8th seed. I do not think this team can play well enough without him, even if they get Jeremy back, to be able to win the games necessary to maintain pace with the Golden State Warriors in that 8th seed. And they're certainly not maintaining pace with the Phoenix Suns, who are 24-16 with the 7th seed. I mean, we could pop the standings up here. But the Blazers, okay, of course this isn't updated. I'll do my best to update that, and then we'll take a look at the standings. I love how I update. Here's the thing. With it being a late game and with it being a blowout, I did all the graphics literally before the stream. And I literally...
Well, yeah, a lot of times to mark Portland's loss.
I know, yeah. I made the standings with like 6 minutes to go.
Yeah,
oh, you know what?
With 6 minutes in the first quarter.
You know what? I forgot to add the loss. I made it with 6 minutes to go. Like, oh, I already know they lost. I just need to add the loss, and then I forgot to add the loss because I just copy pasted them. That's what it was. That is what it was. So the perfectionist I am. I'll fix it. But they're now 3 games back at Golden State. They do have the tiebreaker, but like I don't think this team can function well enough offensively, and they're obviously not good enough defensively to have the defense carry them. So you look at the stretch of games coming up, like Atlanta's slightly below 500. They're above 500 without Trae Young, and now, of course, they don't have Trae Young. They got blown out by the Lakers tonight, but still, like Atlanta, the Lakers, and then you got the Kings, and then you got 3 days of rest. The Blazers should win 2 of those 3 games. If they had Denny and they were playing as well as they did at the start of this month, I would expect them to win all 3. I think they would have been favored in all 3. Maybe not the Lakers game, but the Lakers have had some serious problems lately, and Austin Reeves hasn't been healthy. So, you got to win at least 1. Winning 2 would be good, but you can't lose all 3. I'm worried that they'll lose all 3 if they don't have Denny for all 3, though. Like, the Kings have won a couple of games recently. I just, the way this team looked tonight, they looked like a team with no confidence, no edge, and looked like a bunch of guys that were being asked to do too much.
Yeah, hopefully that's just one game, because like several of them had probably one of their worst performances in a while.
I just don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah. We just got to hope that some of them step up next game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Let's look at the box scores. So Shaedon Sharpe's your leading scorer, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover in 28 minutes. He was efficient tonight. He was good inside the arc, 8 for 10. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Sharpe was pretty much our only guy who could create a shot. So, I don't know. How many minutes did he end up playing?
28.
28, yeah. Seems. I mean, it was a blowout, I guess, but. Man, I didn't understand. You went on a run, like, why? I don't know why they took him out instead of Drew in that position. I don't know.
Yeah, that
seems weird.
And then Drew had to foul to even get out of the game.
Yeah. just ended up playing that whole quarter.
Yeah. Um, he he's just not somebody you can rely on as like your main playmaker. I just
Man,
I just don't think you can.
what was that? Sorry.
Nothing to chat get to.
Uh, no, I finally got the stuff finally came up on NBA.com, so I wanted to see some of these shot attempts.
Yeah, I've been waiting too because I want to see all these potential assists that he had.
They only showed 2 out of 4 shots by
But
City.
also it's like, bro, City Sissoko is not a good shooter. Like, of course he's open. Like, okay, yeah, you can kick out bad shooters.
But I mean, why is it good when Denny's the one passing out to him?
I don't know. How has Denny averaged like 8 assists per game the past month? That's my question. Like, he's averaged
I mean,
he's averaging 7 assists per game with this group of players.
dude, watching the one where Sharp kicks out to a wide open Tamani and he hits the side of the backboard from straight on, pretty much. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
I mean, yeah, he's always been able to throw a kick out pass. But I want him like that's the thing. I like him more in just a scorer role right now, where he can just focus on scoring and because I've talked about all year, like the reads he makes are inconsistent.
He did have the pass to Drew for that wide open lay-in.
Well,
I just watched.
yeah, yeah. I guess it's collusion by the team to make sure the Sharp.
I'm not saying that. I'm just
No,
saying that
I'm joking.
that wasn't a kick out. That was drop
Yeah,
off to Drew.
yeah. I mean, that should have been an assist, but I don't know. Like to me, there's just a difference between like a guy who gets 7 assists per game, and we're talking about like how many buckets he set up his teammates for, and then a guy where it's like, oh well, he could have had more assists if his teammates were better. Like when they're playing with
So
the same teammates.
if it was the opposite, let's just say Denny was the one in and Sharp was out tonight along with everyone else. Would you have wanted Denny to pass a lot, or would you have wanted him to shoot a bunch more?
I mean, I think I just want Denny to make the right read, and I think he does a lot of times make the right read.
Because
They've been winning a
this,
lot of games because of his scoring plus his passing and the combination of both.
yeah, but my point is, I don't like there have been games we've talked about multiple plays where Sharp's missed someone open around the basket because he's hunting a shot. I didn't feel like this game he was like ignoring a better read
No,
to take a
like
shot or whatever. So
what I'm
that's
saying
why it's
isn't
like
even
hard to say.
necessarily about him missing reads in this game. I'm not even saying that he missed reads in this game. It's just more so like Denny has a special knack for being able to set teammates up. He has a special knack for being able to draw multiple defenders in a way that Sharp draws some defense when he drives too, draws some traffic too. But like Denny just has a higher level of playmaking. Like he's just a far better playmaker for others, and Denny's pretty special in that regard, and that's why I trust him to be the like number one offensive engine, and that's why I would prefer Sharp to be more of a scorer role off of Denny. I think when you take Denny out, and some of these guys on this team are used to having what is a truly special playmaker in Denny, and Sharp's more of a scorer, and Sharp can't really like play that role that Denny does. And there's really nobody that can play that role that Denny does.
But other than the passes to the bigs, what's different about their passing?
I don't know. You tell me. One averages 7 assists per game. One averages less than 3. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like that one gets the bigs involved, but outside of the bigs. I don't.
Denny throws more. Yeah, like well, that's the thing though is if you're the number one option, you're going to be running a lot of pick and roll. He's a better pick and roll passer to his big men.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you're talking specifically about the big men, but City Sissoko and Tamani Kamara got looks that they got, whether it's Denny or Sharp. I feel like.
Do you think that's the only difference between their playmaking for others is Denny does a better job feeding his bigs? Do you think that's the only
No,
difference?
I think one of the main differences Sharp usually shoots on his drives, and um, Denny is more
Yeah,
split whether he shoots or not. So
yeah,
that's a huge part of it. But just in terms of this game, like the quality of shots that Tamani and City both missed, I don't feel like they were any different than, like, it's not like Denny's driving in and getting them better looks than they got. Like they had some decent looks.
yeah. But I mean, I think you kind of made my point. Just like Sharp's mentality is more score first. I think it's tough for him to try and adjust that because Denny's out. I think he has to learn how to pick his spots better, but that's going to be more of a gradual process. Like, it's not just going to be, oh, Denny's out, now I'm going to balance my scoring and playmaking well, because his normal role doesn't really call for him to do that, and his mindset isn't to do that.
Yeah, I'd much rather kick out and be more of a passer to City Sissoko pump faking and then taking a step back three that misses everything and then throwing the ball over the backboard later on in the game. Like, I don't know. To me, that's like,
I mean, neither of those shots he was like open. One he got run off the line, had to sidestep.
I
One he
know
was
those
contested.
two were
like,
not were not open, but like I don't know.
But like the thing is a lot. I feel like a lot of his threes, when Denny drives, become open because of the way defenses react to Denny.
I mean, I wouldn't run on City at all, but
No, I agree. I agree, but obviously it's effective. It was effective today. But that's the thing, is like City has to score the ball a little bit. He can't, like, without Denny, other people have to step up and score. City's a starter. And without having Denny in the starting lineup, you have Tamani, you have Caleb Love, who was rough tonight. Like, City has to step up and make a couple of shots that maybe he wouldn't normally make. He can't have a 22-minute 0-point game like he could if Denny's playing, where the Blazers are fine offensively, even though they have a starter giving them no offense in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's just the issue of losing your best playmaker, and then everybody has to do a little bit more.
But it's also a case of, if you have Sharp and Denny, that also creates, because then the defense has to account for both of them, whereas that leaves City and Tamani open. So that was my point earlier.
Yeah, well,
if you only have one of the two, that does change the dynamic of either of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see how Denny does without Sharp, but that's the way the roles should work with this iteration of the team. Without Drew, Drew, he's coming back, right? So the team that we saw win 7 out of 8, the hierarchy made sense, where Denny's your number one scorer, also your best passer playmaker in those lineups, and then Sharp's your number 2. He's your scorer. He's your guy that can get hot. He's your guy that can, he's score first type of player. And then you have guys after that kind of slot behind that. There's really no like clear number 3, but with those two guys at the top, you had Caleb Love getting some good shots and playing confidently. You had Donovan Klingan getting some wide open threes. Now he's getting run off the line, but the Blazers, without people that can actually create at the point of attack, Donovan Klingan taking the big out of the paint, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if you can't create well enough at the point of attack, and Shaedon Sharpe was the only guy that could do that today. So, when you have Denny and you have Klingan taking the big out of the paint and Denny able to drive, and he forces other perimeter players to help onto him because the big is being taken away from the rim, then you get an open Caleb Love 3, and then he gets a rhythm, he gets going. And without that, it's like, unless it's Sharpe creating it, who on this team was going to drive into that area, draw Caleb Love's guy, and kick out to him for an open 3? I'm sure it might have happened on a play or two, but it's just not going to happen at the same rate, and Caleb Love's not going to be able to build the same rhythm. And that applies to a number of different guys on this roster where, yeah, they'll still get some open threes even in a game like this, especially, guys that defenses don't really respect, but you're just not collapsing the defense in the same way if you don't have both Denny and Sharpe.
Yeah.
So, anyway, vote in the chat poll. This is a very important question. Somebody said, what does the chat poll mean? I don't know. Google is your friend. Caleb Love today, 17 points, 7 assists. His stat line was good. At least from the points and assist numbers. But he was... why do I have the wrong box score? Why do I have the Knicks box score up here? Whoops, wrong tab. Let me get to the box score here. What did he shoot from the field? Because at one point he was 1 for 8.
Who are you asking about?
Caleb Love. He finishes 5 for 16, 2 for 9 from 3, just horribly inefficient.
He had several buckets in
garbage time.
At the end there, yeah. By the way, could I say what Google said?
Sure.
Or do you want me to affect the poll?
Nah, don't affect the poll.
Okay.
We can tell us at the end what Google says.
All right.
But let chat decide. This is more fun than a player of the game poll tonight. So chat needs this. They need something that they can emotionally invest themselves in as far as a poll.
And to be fair to Caleb, he was due for a bad shooting game. He's not going to shoot well like he has been all the time. So it just sucks that tonight, we didn't get anything out of so many people.
Is he due for a bad shooting game or a bad shooting stretch?
Well, the hope is that he's better now and isn't going to have the same inconsistent stretches. But I mean,
he's just not a 40% shooter though from 3.
Yeah,
like that's what he had been until this recent game.
Well, it depends though, Toria. In my opinion, if he accepts his role as a spot up shooter and doesn't take off the dribble ones or step back ones or deep ones, I feel like he possibly could be getting wide open practice shots like the Warriors got tonight. I feel like he could be a 40% catch and shoot guy.
I don't even think he's 40% in that role, to be honest, but his odds would be better.
Yeah, but he's not going to shoot that if he plays like he's played in college or whatever. He's just not. That's just not an efficient game.
He still has moments where he's just playing like he played in college, though. Like some of his turnovers today were awful. He did have 7 assists. He can get 7 assists somehow. I need to go back and watch his assists. But
we had a lob to Sharpe.
Yeah. Like I just don't fully buy that he's some efficient scorer. I don't just buy that yet off of a 11 game stretch or whatever it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 game stretch. Like that's a good stretch. It gives me more hope that maybe he can be like a legitimate bench guard. But he was super inefficient in college. On the season, he's still very, very inefficient as a whole. And he's played in a bunch of games. Like how many games has he played? I don't know. It's 11 is a small sample of the games that he's played this year, although that has been when he's playing the most minutes. So I think kind of the arguments are like, okay, he just needed time to get comfortable. He's a rookie. He doesn't have to take as tough of shots as he did in college. So once he kind of settles in, he's going to be more efficient. This is just a bad game when he's been playing great. Like that's a very valid argument. But I also think the counter argument is valid. And the counter argument is this is a guy who's always struggled to score the ball efficiently. Even at the college level, he's always struggled with his decision making. And he can get hot for a stretch. And 11 games is maybe the longest hot stretch he's ever had. But it doesn't yet mean that that's who he is and that's not just a hot stretch, because he's always up and down, always been a guy who's up and down throughout the season, and on average, he's still inefficient. So, I mean, we just need more sample to tell, I guess, but there was something I saw on Twitter today, and I forget what the criteria was. It was a certain minimum number of minutes, I believe, and it was the worst on-off numbers, and he was one of the worst in the league in that regard.
Mm-hmm. So, his first assist was when Sharpe got double teamed past him, and then he passed to Klingan on the roll, where Klingan went in and dunked it. But Klingan just standing there wide open. Second assist was the lob to Sharpe. Third assist was in the second half. He passed to Jan Hansen in the corner wide open. Jan hit that three. No one within 10 feet of him.
Is that a lucky assist just because Young happened to make the three?
I don't know.
If Shaedon throws that pass, Young's not making the three. And that's definitely on Shaedon, you know?
His fourth assist, he drives in, turns the ball over, but the ball bounces luckily back to him. He throws it out to Repair, who hits a contested three, the one that rolled around and then hit the backboard and then went in.
Yeah.
So there you go. His fifth assist was a kick out to Javonte Cook's only three of the game.
Of his career. Only three of his career.
Wide open three. Okay, so we're into garbage time now. Another one he drove, kicked out to Duop Reith, who hits a three in garbage time with 2 minutes left in the game. And then his last assist is he kicks out to Repair, who attacks the closeout and drives, takes two dribbles in and dunks it.
Yeah, Young three, Repair contested three, Repair dunk. Like, he just needs to pass the ball all the time if it's that magical that all that stuff happened today in a game where we couldn't do anything.
Well, I said three or four of those were in garbage time.
Javonte Cook's only NBA three. He just needs to always pass the ball every possession. We need to have him pass the ball to somebody because he obviously has some sort of assist badge because 2K's real. How do you get Young Hansen and Javonte Cook to make threes in the same game off of your passes? It's special.
I was mad earlier today when I realized that Kobe Buffkin was not on an actual roster.
Yeah. Yep. I've been meaning to talk about that.
And I saw your tweet, but first I saw the Lakers sign Kobe Buffkin. I was like, wait, what? Like, I know he got traded, but I thought he was still on a two-way or something. And then, And then he came in that first half, he had that air ball three. I'm just like, oh my goodness, dude. We cannot find a better two-way than this guy. I mean, we can't even play him when we're down 7 guys. I don't know, man.
I think it's crazy they never signed Kobe Buffkin. I think that's Joe Cronin failing to do his job. In the G League, he's been averaging 29 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He was a first-round pick who's only really had his career derailed because of how injured he's been. But if you need somebody to fill in for a point guard role for some games, because you have no point guards, even if it's just to come off the bench, there's your guy. There's your guy. He's been the best player in the G League. And he was one of my guys in his draft. And I still believe in his talent. He's just been injured. I could see him becoming a backup guard in the league on a normal NBA contract. He might be good enough to do that right now. He didn't play for the Lakers tonight, which he's on a 10-day. Or he played 3 minutes. It was garbage time. And he's on a 10-day, so you're not really going to expect him to step in, especially for a team that's healthier than this. But, the Blazers needing point guard help, I don't really know why they didn't kick the tires on him earlier.
Yeah, no clue. I mean, the only thing I think of is if he just declined all two-way offers, but I don't know why he would do that.
Cut Repair, sign him to a 10-day. Cut Duop Reith. You don't want to play Duop Reith. You'd rather play Young Hansen instead of Duop Reith. Cut Duop Reith. Cut somebody. I don't get it.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, see, here's the problem. Like I was going to say, hopefully we trim some of the fat at the trade deadline, but by then it might be too late because if we're healthy, like whoever we get for our 13th to 15th guy or two-way guys probably aren't playing if we get healthy at some point. So,
Yeah.
does it really matter if they do that? So, it's the time to do it was prior to this, but yeah.
I mean, are we ever gonna get healthy though? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably not, especially if we're playing our 35-year-old 11 straight minutes with a calf strain on a minutes
yeah,
restriction.
yeah. I'll just say this though, like, this game is a perfect example of why it drives me absolutely crazy when people want to have the conversation where they compare Caleb Love to Scoot Henderson.
Man, it always comes back to this for you.
It pisses me off, man. It pisses me off because people are prisoners of the moment. This is more of like a philosophical thing that I keep hitting on because I think it's philosophically ridiculous, okay? What did the Blazers need in this game? They needed somebody who could create for himself and others. They needed somebody that could beat his defender at the point of attack. They needed shot creation. They don't have Deddy. They need somebody that's dynamic, that can get to the rim, that can create shots for himself and others. That guy is not Caleb Love. That guy's not Caleb Love. That guy in this game, if he was healthy, would have been Scoot Henderson. The guy who's also over 3 years younger than Caleb Love, by the way. But that's why it drives me crazy. Like, Scoot injured right now. Caleb Love has a good 11-game stretch, and it's, man, we need to start having the conversation about Scoot. Look at Caleb Love. This is the same people that were saying we need to have a conversation about trading Scoot because look at how Delano Banton's playing last year. So, like, until Caleb Love is efficient, like, for more than an 11-game stretch, until he's efficient for an entire season, more efficient than Scoot was last year because Caleb Love is still much more inefficient than Scoot was even last year. Like, what are we doing having these comparisons? Like, why it annoys me is because there's games where I'm like, oh, Caleb Love's playing well, and then people come at me like, yep, time to trade Scoot, and I'm like, okay, now you're going to make me downplay a good Caleb Love game because you're being ridiculous and trying to overreact to it, you know? That's why it drives me insane. And we have people come to our chat, people on Twitter do it. Like, Caleb Love's been really, really good for a two-way guard, especially lately. I think as a like fifth guard, he can be on a roster contract next year and I'd be fine with it. But as a fifth guard, that's where I'm at. Like,
yeah.
But then again, you know, maybe Scoot's playmaking isn't as good because he probably wouldn't have had Javonte Cook and Jan Hansen magically make threes today, so I don't know. And Ryan Repair get his, like, first dunk of his career.
Hey, Repair had some good drives this game.
Yeah.
I'm
excited to talk about him. He actually, look at that, man. How many stat lines have we seen? Ryan Repair, 21 minutes, 1 point or 2 points. Look at that, 13 points. Like, every now and then, he's just like, oh, I'll do something today. Today I feel like doing something. Today I'm gonna score some buckets. He played 27 minutes, had 12 points. I was looking at Drew's stat line, but still 12 points. Phenomenal stuff. But we'll talk about him in a second. Klingan, 7 points, 9 rebounds. Dude, their inability to get him involved drove me crazy today. You can't do anything offensively, but you can't get him involved. You can't get him a post touch. They're a small team. Like, he cooked them last time he played in San Francisco. I witnessed it. I finally got all my, by the way, side note, I finally got all my vlog footage onto my laptop so I can edit my entire vlog. It literally was uploading for weeks from my phone. So, still going to drop that even if it's 2 months late. I don't care. It's going to be a good vlog. But what you think about that? It drove me crazy how they did not get him involved considering how much they were struggling offensively, how much they were struggling to shoot the three.
Well, I mean, they get him involved like 3 plays in a row, and he goes on a 7-0 run. I forget what game it was, but there was a game in the first quarter where right off the bat he was like our offense earlier in the game, and then it seemed like he was. I don't even remember a single play outside of those 2 drives he had in that 3, and then like I know he missed a 3 too, but like I don't even remember him much in this game outside of that, right?
Yeah, like this is insane. So after 6 minutes and 50 seconds, sorry, after 6 minutes and 57 seconds left in the first quarter, Klingan only shot one shot, and it was a grenade contested 3, with the shot clock at 3. Basically, Tomani didn't want to miss a shot, didn't want to mess up his field goal percentage, so just like was
He
like
messed
Klingan.
that up with easy shots.
I know.
Open shots.
I know. But, wanted Klingan to have the miss. So, the only play you get this dude a shot against a small lineup after the 6-minute and 57-second mark in the first quarter was a single grenade that he had to shoot because Tamati Kamara is like, here, grenade, have fun airballing. Like, it's just ridiculous. If you cooked tonight offensively, fine. All right, you didn't involve them. Everybody else was cooking. Okay. But everybody else sucked. Like, Shaedon Sharpe was 9 for 15, but who else did anything offensively? And you can't get this guy involved at all. You can't get him a post up that he shoots on. Like, you can't get him a look here or there. It just drives me insane. He's been good when he's gotten good low post position. He's finished well. Like, send him a freaking cross screen. Have him flash across the paint and see if he's freaking open. But no, we don't run stuff like that.
Well, also, I mean, posting up if you're having trouble getting paint touches, that's a good way to get a paint touch, even if it's for a kick out or some sort of cut or action where he passes out of it. It doesn't have to be just for a shot opportunity.
Yeah. It just drives me crazy. I don't even really have anything to say. He made a 3 though. He's 1 for 2 from 3. That's cool.
So there was that. You got called out in chat earlier, by the way, for ever since he's 1 for 10 since you called it and said we had our Karl Anthony Towns or whatever.
Okay, anyways, how come it doesn't work when I question Sharpe's playmaking? Why doesn't he have a 10 assist game or something? I wish it worked the other way. But no, I say something good and it backfires.
There was, man, I wish the turnovers aren't working on NBA.com yet, but there was a play where Tamani cut baseline and he kept going. And if he would have just stopped near the basket, he would have had a wide open dunk.
That play drove me insane as well.
And he ran. So he was like behind the guy. Yep. It was Drew maybe that was passing to him. He ran behind the defender of Drew, so he couldn't pass him the ball, even though he had already committed to passing him and had no angle at it.
Yep.
And then later in the game, there was a play where Klingan had him on a bounce pass if he just cuts harder and seals his guy, but he like backs up and goes behind his defender instead of in front of him. And it looks like a terrible pass by Klingan, but it was there if Klingan or if Tamani just cuts harder and seals his guy, he has another lay-in, or if he gets fouled at the very least. So, those 2 plays were frustrating to me as well.
That's funny because that was literally the first 2 plays I wanted to bring up from Tamani when we got to him. Because both those plays stuck in my mind. Because, like, people that just look at turnovers and don't contextualize any of them, it drives me a little bit crazy. Sometimes you have a turnover, that's your teammate's fault. I've talked about this. Like, somebody isn't running the lane hard enough in transition, and somebody leads them too far, but they're not running as hard as they possibly can. Or somebody doesn't stay in the passing window on a baseline cut like Tamani did. When you cut baseline, your goal isn't just to, like, keep cutting through to the other side. Your goal, if you don't have somebody on you, which if you're baseline cutting, normally you don't have a player on you, Your goal is to get into a window of space between you and the passer where they can deliver you the ball. And it drove me crazy. Like, I made this point a lot. I think I did a film breakdown once I started messing around with YouTube before Blazers Uprise existed on the 2018 playoffs that the Blazers lost to the Pelicans. And one of the things that Nurkic did a little bit in that series that drove me crazy was like Dame would get trapped and have a window in between the trap, and Nurkic would roll past it.
Yeah.
Like, so he wasn't even an option. You can't throw the ball through a defender's chest. He's not a ghost. So that play from Tamani drove me insane. And then the one where he, like, it looked like he started to cut and then he stopped cutting and backed up. And it was like, dude, what happened to your cutting, man? His cutting, that's one of those little things that he did better last year that for some reason he's struggling with now.
Yep.
Klingan, Kamara can't cut. Hopefully that does something for him since I jinx everything. Hopefully now he can learn how to stay in a passing window and not
It
fake
seems to only work in this scenario when you praise someone for turning into a shooter now or something.
So every time I'm negative, I'm right. Every time I'm positive, it's a bad thing.
You're wrong.
If that's the case, why do people complain about me being negative? Shouldn't they be thanking me? Or shouldn't they be complaining about me when I'm positive?
Because you jinx them.
Yeah, when I'm positive, I jinx them. So it's a bad thing when I'm positive. You should not want me to be positive, Chad. That's what we're learning today.
But it doesn't work when you're negative either, so I guess.
Well, when I'm negative, I'm just right. Either way, it's bad.
Okay.
I would rather not have the responsibility for causing it to be bad by saying something's good and then it becoming bad because I said it was good.
Okay.
So, I'm never going to say anybody can shoot ever again. Steph Curry can shoot. Who do we play next? Atlanta? I mean, who's their best shooter? Nickeil Alexander-Walker can shoot.
CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum can shoot. Kristaps Porzingis can shoot. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sissoko, man. He's very
Absolutely
up and down
terrible.
right now. He's very up and down right now.
That's all we got to say. Absolutely terrible.
I guess it should be expected. A two-way player has a good game, has a terrible game, has a good game, has a terrible game. So I guess at least he's up and down instead of just always being bad. But the bad games are rough right now. Especially considering the last time he played in this arena, he freaking cooked. I witnessed it with my 2 eyes. He cooked. I don't know what tonight was, but all right. Drew Holiday, Eric, 13 points, 4 for 12 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3. Had 3 assists, 3 turnovers with his 8 boards.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to it earlier. It's like for those of you that play basketball, and if you ever don't play for a few weeks or something and then go in, the ball just doesn't feel right. You dribble it, you never feel like you have control of it, and you go to shoot, but it's I don't know, sometimes it goes in still, but it's not really because you're shooting it well. It's just, you're just kind of shooting it at the rim and hoping for the best. You had a couple of little floaters or little push shots that, if you have a little bit better feel or touch there, they're probably pretty easy shots. And so, yeah, I really feel like with Drew right now, I had another one where he was just standing there and lost the ball to his defender who wasn't even guarding him tightly. It does seem like it's just rust and that he just needs to get that ball in his hands a little more and just be in some game action for a few games and get that feeling back to where you're just a little bit more sure of yourself when you're dribbling around and a little bit better idea and decisiveness of what to do with it. So I'm not worried about him at all. It's just I'm more worried about the Blazers mistreating him. But yeah, I thought he was fine today. Just obviously he's, still trying to work his way back into playing conditions.
Yeah, hit it on the head. I read off this donation earlier in my head and then forgot that I need to read it off on the stream. Shout out to MGJJ with the $5 donation. Says, why do the Blazers have to play so poorly when it is televised? That's a good question. That's a good donation. Thank you for the donation from like an hour ago. My bad for letting it sit there. But yeah, I don't know. I wish they played better on national TV. I mean, they won that one. What was the game they won? The Mavericks game.
Yeah, I feel like they do okay sometimes.
Well, before the Mavericks game, they got blown up by the Suns.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another one that I'm forgetting, but their next nationally televised game is on the 26th on the road against Boston. So we'll see how that goes. But that's on Peacock, not NBC.
Kind of the same thing.
Kind of. But NBC is like cable broadcast. Peacock isn't. So maybe the players will be a little bit less psyched out not being on the
Depends
NBC.
on if they have to introduce where they're from or not. Do they do that on Peacock or just NBC?
Because we're going to be on the road for that, man. Yeah, I don't know. We need to listen. If any Blazer is watching this stream, they don't actually watch the stream. But if any Blazer is watching the stream, show some energy in your pre-game NBC spot. All right, go watch some. What's the show? Key and Peele? Is that the show? Go watch some Key and Peele. I never have show references, but I have one. Okay, because I don't really watch TV shows or movies, so I'm just happy that I can pull off a TV show reference. Go watch some of that.
That's more just funny names, or
but they also have some energy.
That's true.
Like the drill. You know, there's some. You know which one I'm talking about. I can't make the noise. If I tried, I would embarrass myself. But yeah, no, it's like there's a jackhammer. His name's like Torque Lewith. And his middle name or his nickname is like the jackhammer noise. You know, there's some energy. That's some energy. Just another thing Denny would have brought the energy to. I know. Hopefully he's back by the Peacock game if we get introduced so he can lead us in terms of how we introduce ourselves. Because apparently we need him to lead us in everything, including our pregame intros.
Why can't Donovan be like Donovan Klingan, 2-time champion Yukon Huskies? You know, like
2-time champ. Yeah. Flex your championships.
Donovan Klingan, University of Kentucky.
Yeah. You hear his like mic'd up scene in between the quarters where he's just like super loud and like fun.
No, he's been super vocal and energetic lately. Feisty.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you even talking about? So we're talking about we're talking about the pregame introductions. The NBC broadcast had them. They pre-recorded them saying what their name and what college they're from and stuff. And when Sharpe came up, I was like, "What is he going to say? Kentucky?" Because he never actually played for Kentucky.
Did he say Kentucky?
Not a single. Yeah, he said Kentucky. Yep.
You should just say he's from Canada. Make more sense.
Yeah. I thought Tamani was going to say Belgium or whatever, but he went for Dayton.
Yeah. Tori, you are very accurate today. Thank you. I appreciate that.
They never went to the game.
Who went to the game?
The guy who made that comment.
Ah. Real ball knowers watch the Blazers in Chase Center this year. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Anyway. Robert Williams made another 3. Is he our best shooter?
From the corners, maybe.
Yeah, that's who we need in the corners. Not Chris Murray, not Tamani Kamara. We need Robert Williams III. So, wait, what is he on the season now? Wait, let me look at his stats, totals. He was 2 for 10 before this. He's 3 for 11 now. Ooh, he's getting real close to 30% from 3. Now we get to have this conversation with Robert Williams III. Because he was spotting up from the corner. Yeah, well, he only shoots them from the corner, but I don't know. Doesn't look terrible.
I thought he was going to take one from the top of the key today, and then he hesitated.
I mean, he shouldn't have just done it. We can't make shots anyway. You might as well just
true.
Do something, you
know?
Mm-hmm. He was energetic today. He's had a couple good games lately. Been happy with the way he's playing lately. But it's also like he gets 5 shots in 16 minutes, and I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if this coaching staff likes him more than Klingan just doesn't play him more because it's Robert Williams. When you see Klingan get frozen out of a game for the entire game, it kind of makes you wonder that. Or at least makes me wonder that.
I don't think it's like that because I just think he despite what you just said about him shooting threes, he doesn't do that often. Like after he made one, he did float around the 3-point line a little bit tonight, but for the most part, he's rolling pretty hard or is always around the basket or in the dunker spot. I don't think because Klingan is getting a ton of times where he touches the ball up top. It's not as much down low around the basket as we'd like.
We don't use our 7 too big around the basket because why would we do that against a team who starts well, I guess they start post, but post is soft, man. Klingan can post them up. What, they're going to guard him with 6'7" Draymond, who's giving up 7 inches to him? Nah, play him at the top of the yard. Duop played 11 minutes, made a 3. Didn't really do anything else, but was a +2. Drew Holiday was a +1 today in his 21 minutes. I wonder if that's like, because he's a point guard and we needed a point guard on the floor without Denny. And then Javonte Cook plays 13 minutes. Oh, man. Yeah, the first stretch was just kind of brutal. But congrats to him for making his first NBA 3.
Not an NBA player.
Nope. But he was an NBA player tonight because he technically played in an NBA game.
Yeah, no, hard to argue with that logic.
So, congrats to him. But I don't know how many more of these there's going to be.
He's an NBA player because Joe Cronin thinks he is.
Yeah. Joe Cronin, can I apply to be an NBA player? Where do I get an application? Young Hansen was 1 for 3 from 3. He's made a couple lately, but still not good on the year. Also, he gets hit in the head a lot, is what I'm learning. He's the new Nurkic. It's just instead of getting hit in the face, he gets hit in the head.
Yeah. Glad he came back in, though, because despite the fact that he doesn't play a ton, we still don't need more people out with like a concussion right now.
Yeah. Nathan, yeah, true, crap. Those are all the players. Let's go around the NBA quickly because I actually have a scores graphic for once. All right, you got the Heat beating the Suns, so if you still have dreams of catching the Suns, the Heat helped us out, led by 29, 9 and 4 from Bam Adebayo, 27 from Norm Powell, 23 from Tyler Hero. Watch the Heat to maybe be a player in the Ja Morant sweepstakes, although I don't know if you can really call that a sweepstakes, because if there's only like 2 teams interested, is that a sweepstakes? I don't know. In the loss, 25 from Dillon Brooks, 24 from Devin Booker. You have the Rockets beat the Bulls 119-113. The Rockets finally got Alperen Şengün back. He had 23 points along with 11 assists and 7 rebounds as the Rockets get things right after losing back-to-back games against the Blazers and then a game against, I believe it was the Kings. They've been struggling lately. 34 in the loss from Trey Jones. That has to be a career high. I'm not sure, but 34 from Trey Jones is kind of crazy in 27 minutes. Still not enough to get it done. The Timberwolves beat the Bucks 139-106. Julius Randle, 29 points, 8 boards, 6 assists to lead the way. The Timberwolves were without Anthony Edwards today, but it did not matter. They got 23 off the bench from Bones Highland. The Bucks had Giannis in this game. They just suck. They're just not a good basketball team. 17-23 now on the year. I'm getting excited about those 2028, 2029, and 2030 Milwaukee Bucks picks. The Timberwolves moved to 27-14. The Nuggets, despite not having Nikola Jokic, continued to win basketball games. They beat the Pelicans 122-116. Peyton Watson, if he keeps playing like this, might put himself in most improved conversations. Or at least if he was able to have this role all season, because this dude has been phenomenal for Denver. 31 points, 11 for 16 from the field, 8 for 9 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Was a plus 15 team high. Did you see this coming out of Peyton Watson, Eric?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course. Defensive piece that does basically nothing on offense all of a sudden is very capable of scoring 31 points in a game. Yeah. I've been shocked by his play. For the Pelicans, 31 from Trey Murphy in the loss. The Thunder finally beat the San Antonio Spurs. They get a 119-98 victory over San Antonio, led by 34 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the loss. Wemby struggled a bit. Stephon Castle almost had a triple-double, 20 points, 8 assists, 7 boards. The Lakers blew out the Hawks 141-116. LeBron James also almost had a triple-double. He had 31 points, 10 assists, 9 boards. I think if he gets a triple-double, that just automatically sets the record for oldest player to get a triple-double, right? I can't imagine there was a player older than he is right now, 41 years of age, that got a triple-double before, so starting to get into the territory where if LeBron does something cool, it sets a record for oldest player to do something cool. They got 27 from Luka. DeAndre Ayton finally did something today. Lakers fans have been a bit fed up with him recently, but he had 17 points and 18 boards. Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the loss, 26 points, 10 for 16, 5 for 9 from 3. He's been big for the Hawks this year. That's the Blazers' next opponent. They also had CJ McCollum off the bench for 25 points after acquiring him in the Trae Young trade. Also, Corey Kispert in 26 minutes off the bench, 19 points, 6 for 11 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3. So those two pieces came over and gave the Hawks a boost off the bench, but it was not a good game by them whatsoever. An awful defensive game as the Lakers shoot 56% from 3. You thought the Warriors shot well from 3? The Lakers 19 for 34 from 3. Crazy. So hopefully this Hawks team plays as bad as they did in the next game against your Portland Trail Blazers.
Well, their percentage tonight, they would have shot better.
What'd you say?
I said if that bum Steph Curry didn't lower their
I know
3-point percentage, they would have shot better.
I know, freaking bum. Anyway, let's look at the standings.
One more note. Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened in that game?
I mean, I just saw that they lost. I must have missed what happened.
So Giannis often boos back at opposing crowds.
Yeah.
He did so tonight. Do you know where this game took place,
It was in
Tori?
Milwaukee. He booed his own crowd back.
Yep. And then had some comments about it after the game.
What did he say after? Ooh, I like some drama.
Yeah.
Let me.
He basically thought it was ridiculous that they were booing at home. They're booing their home team and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, They were down 76-45. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Fans paid money to show up and watch you compete, and you ain't competing.
I know.
Like, you kind of
I
got to
kind of see it
expect
both
that.
ways, but like, yeah, have some awareness to know you're down 30. You're not going to get it, even if you make a good play. You're not going to get a good applause. But stuff like that, it will start to like tear away at his loyalty or whatever.
Yeah. Keep booing him. Keep booing him. Like, I want a Giannis trade because I just think either it's Giannis trade to Portland or much more likely it's a Giannis trade somewhere else, but then those Milwaukee picks could end up being really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. After having everybody root for the Blazers to trade Dame or Dame to demand a trade, like, in dealing with that, I feel for Bucks fans, but also, like, it is what it is. We had to deal with it, so. And we traded Dame there, and now we got these picks, so now we want Giannis to trade. Yeah, so he said, quote, I was definitely booing back. When I get booed, I boo back. I've been doing that all season. You guys haven't been with me on the road. Whenever I get booed, I boo back. But this is a home game. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I play basketball for my teammates. I play basketball for myself and my family. When people don't believe in me, I don't tend to be with them. I tend to be against them. Whoa. I tend to do what I'm here to do, what I'm good at. I think I'm like a maverick. He thinks he's a maverick. He wants to play with Cooper Flag. No, like a maverick, like the actual word. I've always been that way, so it won't change now. It doesn't matter if I'm at home or away, but yeah, I've never been a part of something like that before, and I don't think it's fair. I don't, but everybody has their opinion to do what they want to do. I'm not going to tell them what to do and how they should act when we don't play hard or when we lose games or when we're not where we're supposed to be, and I don't think anybody has the right to tell me what or how I should act on the basketball court after I've been here 13 years, and I'm basically the all-time leader in everything.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what to do if you're the Bucks because, like you said, if you trade him, you're kind of screwed in the future unless you somehow get some of your picks back. But I also feel like at some point you just gotta move on, right?
I don't know, man. They are so stuck. They're so stuck. I don't know if I buy his "I'll never demand a trade" comments. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's reports saying that that's already not true.
yeah, like he does have this habit of trying to keep like a nice guy image that maybe doesn't hold up as much. Like, I forget what I'm referencing here, but there's been some stuff in the past where it's like, yeah, he seems like the type of guy to say the right thing in the press, but like not necessarily mean it. Chat, maybe you have an example that fits in with that, but I've gotten that feeling from him in the past, and that's kind of what that was to me. Like, oh, I'll never demand a trade. Yeah, okay, well, your home crowd is booing you because you guys suck. Like, what about now? So, and after hearing all the Dame loyalty stuff, and then, that ended up in a trade demand due to multiple circumstances, like, things can change. So, we'll see. We'll see if he becomes available. I want Giannis in Portland. You look at the crap that Denny has to deal with, and people are worried about, like, oh, Denny and Giannis, do they really fit together? Give Denny Giannis and give Giannis Denny. Like, they deserve each other. You know what I mean? Is kind of how I feel. So I do have a feeling we're going to be the team to trade for Anthony Davis, though.
Well, he's out for a while now.
Yeah. But, like, how cheap he could come, too. Like, would you? If it was, like, Orlando first and expirings, like, Thibault and Rob Will, well, I guess we have to trade Grant, and they probably wouldn't want Grant's salary. I don't know. But, like, would you trade for AD?
If it wasn't too costly, probably willing to take that risk, but yeah, I don't know.
Like, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you play Denny at the 3 and AD at the 4 and Klingan at the 5.
Yeah.
Defensively, that's kind of fun, and if Klingan's shooting is real, like, he can space the floor and let AD play the 4. I don't hate that.
Hyperprime with a member message says this game was actually. Oh, sorry. This game was actually torture to watch.
Yeah, it made Eric tired. Or maybe it was the fact that it tipped off at 8 p.m. That's the other thing. It's freaking 8 p.m. tip-off time for a game that sucks. If it was a good game, I would like the 8 p.m. tip-off time. But for a game like this, it's kind of rough. Anyway, Hyperprime, always good to see you. Okay. Standings. That's what we're gonna do. Let me make sure. There we go. All right. So these are updated standings. The Blazers are 3 games back of the Golden State Warriors now. They could have been 1 game back if they won this game. That's why this game also sucks. They're only a game up on Memphis for 10th. They're only 2 games up on the Clippers for 11th. If Denny misses an extended period of time, the Blazers could easily see themselves outside of the play-in picture pretty quickly here, which would suck. They are 5.5 back of Phoenix at 7 and 6 back of Houston at 6. They do have a game later this year against Houston, but they're 19 and 22. They got to find a way to win games. They got to find a way to get healthy, man. You almost got back to 500. It would suck if they got within 1 game of 500 and then end up like 7 games under 500 again. So hopefully they can figure some things out here.
Yeah. Yep, you mentioned how big this game was last stream, unfortunately. Just had too many people out.
Yep. Unfortunate. Anyway, let's take a look at the schedule once again. So the days still are wrong, but you can the days at the top. Ignore the days at the top. Or shift it over 1 to the right because that's how it actually is. So the Blazers now come back home for 2 games. They only have. Is that Kings game a road game or a home game? Maybe I made a typo on this graphic and I've been psyching myself out.
I think it's a road game.
Yeah, they said something like this is their only road game out of 7 games or something like that. So that's why I'm questioning it now. Yeah, it is a road game. So they were wrong. They were wrong, not me. So I just hope that he can be back for that Heat game. And I hope that the Blazers can find a way to like beat the Kings on the road and then win one of the 2 games at home against the Hawks or the Lakers. It'd be 2-1 in the stretch, and then they would be 21 in 23.
This game tonight was our only road game in 7 games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, I was just looking ahead, not behind. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So gotta take care of home court. They've done a good job taking care of home court. They had won 5 home games in a row through that Rockets game, and then lost to the Knicks, and that was a game that they were in. But this team's just different with Denny on the floor, man. They need Denny back, and you, the viewer, need to use promo code Uprise on Sleeper for a free $20 deposit and a 100% deposit match up to $100. We've got NFL playoffs coming up this weekend. The Niners and the Seahawks play at 5 p.m., and then the Blazers play at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But you can have some fun with it if you use the promo code Uprise. Take advantage of the free parlay, free entry they're giving you. I mean, why wouldn't you? That could potentially be free money if you win. Or it's no if you lose because you're not putting any of your own money in. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. Make sure you use that code.
I'll be coaching the basketball game at 5:45.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You going to be coaching with your phone up on the sideline?
No, I can't do that to the middle schoolers, but yeah. Luckily, I'll be home in time to watch the Blazer game fully, but I'm going to miss part of the Niner game, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you're not glad you missed the Niner game.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you, chat, for watching. Or thank you, the viewer, for watching. If you're watching back after and watch the whole thing, you're a legend. We'll be back again on Friday. No, Thursday. I'm looking at it as Wednesday. I'm thinking we play 2 days from now, but it's past midnight. We'll be back on Thursday for that post-game show. Eric, anything else?
Oh, we lost, so we got to do Tankathon real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I knew I was forgetting something. I just had that feeling.
But I appreciate everyone for watching. Hope you all have a good one. We obviously can't outdo our tankathon from last stream.
Yeah, we're tied
But,
we have 13th place odds by ourselves now.
oh,
We're still only 4.5 games back of sixth. We can still tank. All right, let's see if we get lucky again and move up again. That's crazy. 14 San Antonio via Atlanta, 13 Portland. Yeah, wasn't gonna happen 2 times in a row. 12 Chicago, 11 Memphis, 10 Milwaukee, 9 OKC via the Clippers, 8 Dallas, 7 Utah, 6 Brooklyn, 5 Washington. So a boring tankathon fitting for this game. 4 is Indiana, 3 is Atlanta via New Orleans, 2 is Sacramento, and 1 is Charlotte. Boring tankathon to end the stream, man. Anyway, we're out of here. Have a good rest of your night. Hopefully your Wednesday goes better than this game did for the Blazers because that was freaking ugly. And hopefully Denny Avdija is walking so he can play because that's apparently the only requirement is that he's walking. Yeah. I think we'll get an update tomorrow on him. Normally it's like the Blazers get a player hurt, they miss the next game, and then they give an update the day after, and it's like 3 days. They wait 3 days to give an update. It's kind of strange, but it's what they do. So we'll see if we get a Denny update.
We'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Anyway, Blazers lose. Forget this one as soon as possible. We're out of here. We'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out.